Hey guys, here we are in session 4 of writing, and today we are going to be learning how to use quotations, those commas up in the air, to bolster an argument. This is what it's all about, and get ready to start using those quotations. Alright, so to better understand quotations, we're going to use a scenario that many of you are going to be very familiar with. I want you to, in this scenario, we're going to imagine that a girl just witnessed a fight on the playground. And what she's doing is she's going back and she's talking about what had happened. I want you to imagine this scene. One girl has the scoop. She saw the fight on the playground, and I want you to follow along with how she reported it. Sarah was so brave just now. She heard a bully say to a second grader, "You nerd!" That bully was whack. So Sarah called out to the bully, "Stop picking on the little kids, will you?" I called, "Yo girl," to Sarah, because you gotta have your friends' backs. Someone else called, "Yes, girl power." I'm not sure who said that, but we were all cheering. Sarah went right up to the bully and she said, "You don't scare me, you're just a bully." He didn't even argue. He took 3 steps and then another 2 steps back. Then Sarah turned to the second graders and said, "We can't let bullies rule." They acted like she was their hero. Alright, this time I'm going to quickly reread the scene. But as I reread the scene, I want you to think about this question. What makes a quotation powerful? Take a look at it right here. This is our question that we're focusing on. What makes a quotation powerful? And in case you don't know what quotations are, there's these little commas that you see right here that are in the air. And those things tell what a person is saying. So let's go back and check it out and think about that question in your mind. What makes a quotation powerful? Sarah was so brave just now. She heard a bully say to a second grader, "You nerd!" That bully was whack. So Sarah called out to the bully, "Stop picking on little kids, will you?" I called, "Yo girl," to Sarah. You gotta have your friends' backs. Someone else called, "Yes, girl power." Not sure who said that, but we were all cheering. So what do you think makes a quotation powerful after you hear that and you see how quotations are being used in that paragraph? Well, when I think about the scenario that just happened, I know a lot of different things. I know that there were probably many things called out during the fight. You guys know that. When you're on the playground and something big happens, there's a lot of things that are being thrown out there. But why did they choose those certain things to talk about? Why didn't they mention everything? And then the reporter doesn't include every quotation, does she, just like I said? She chooses one that's going to be surprising, one that's going to be really meaningful. And that's what you have to focus on today. When you're working and looking for quotations, you want to find ones that are going to be really surprising and meaningful to your writing. So what makes a quotation powerful? And how do you go about finding and using a really good one? Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to choose quotations that are going to be surprising. And my favorite thing to do is even use shocking ones. Shocking ones draw out emotion in your reader. It stirs up anger or happiness or excitement. And you want to spice things up. Choose quotations that are going to be life lessons. It kind of goes along with those tough questions that we learn about in reading. When you are choosing quotes that teach life lessons, it's going to have more meaning to the reader, especially if the words are just right. And then most importantly, you have to explain what's important about the quotation. You can't just put it in there with no reason, but you have to explain why it's important. If I go back to chocolate milk and I use that quote from the Mrs. Dobbins from the National Dairy Association, who said that chocolate milk has the same 9 essential vitamins as regular milk, it's important because Miss Dobbins is a nutritionist from the National Dairy Association. It lends credibility to my quote. So what you're going to do today is you are going to go back to some of the texts that you've been reading, and you're going to try to add quotes to support your reasons. You want to find things that people have said for reasons, at least in one in every paragraph of the body of your essay, to spice up your writing, to make it stronger. You can go ahead and you can find other stories, news articles, newspaper articles, magazine articles, blogs, websites. Those are all great. You can even use videos to help you, because we know that there's a lot of videos out there that will help you with your research and you'll find good quotes. The key with videos is that you have to pause the video so you can write down exactly what the person is saying. And then you can go ahead and you can make stars in your writing on pages. You can make notes off to the side so you know where you want to put in a quote. And then you want to paraphrase your evidence to prove your point. This is when you explain why this quote is important. Remember, everything's about putting it into your own words. What I like to do for you now is I like to go through and show you all the things that you have done in how to write an argument. Sorry about my ginormous finger that keeps going into the camera. Anyway, the first thing you have done is you have collected evidence that allows you to think through the various sides of an argument. Extremely important to do, to know both sides, what's going on. You rehearse by explaining your position and listing your reasons point by point. Then you planned your claim and reasons into like a boxes and bullets structure, or using a mind map or something similar. Then you used evidence to support your reason. You paraphrased it by putting it in your own words. You then found quotes, and then you unpacked the quote, showing how it relates back to the claim. Remember, everything is about how what you're providing me is going to support your claim or your thesis in the very beginning. Then you introduce the source and explain the connection. Remember, this is where it's important and why it's important. And then the last thing is you want to use setup language. These are transition phrases to prop up your sources, or transition phrases to incorporate your evidence or your quotes. In Schoology, in the argumentative writing folder, there is a piece that is called incorporating your evidence. And these are great transition phrases that you can use in your writing to easily incorporate your evidence. So do check that out. And then also, the last thing I wanted to share with you before you get started is also in that same folder is a checklist of all the things I'm going to be looking for in your argumentative writing. If you want to make sure you have done those things and how well you've done them, go to that checklist, look under grade 5, and you'll see exactly what I'm looking for. And as you've done those things, check them off so you know that you are fully completed, so you receive the best score that you possibly can. Good luck with everything today on writing your argument and adding in quotations. Make sure you submit everything to the standard-based grading Dropbox.